Here's the next step in helping you pass the Claude Certified Architect Foundations is moving the exam study guide, the PDF, which comes from this page right here, where you register for the exam. First step is downloading the exam study guide. Now you want to go ahead and move it over to a Notion page or a Google Doc. And I chose Notion for a very specific reason, is because I personally like Notion. But more to the point is, I created a lot of visuals, and Notion was the easiest one to get all these visuals here. We'll be going through all of that. So if you have not subscribed to the series yet, please go ahead and actually do so. Okay, please go ahead and do so. So as you can see here, the way that I prompted up Claude, I had like analogies, I had like visuals that basically are going to help me memorize all of this information better. So I would encourage people to go ahead and actually do it on Notion, but if you want to go ahead and do it on a Google Doc, I mean, each his own, but you want to get it documented somewhere because you want to start breaking apart all of the different sections. At first glance, when you're taking a look at this study guide, this is going to seem extremely intimidating. I would be lying to you right now if I wasn't looking at this and thinking to myself, I'm cooked. Ain't no way. I don't have a technical background, as I've mentioned plenty of times over. I come from, as you can basically see, going way back, I come from a tech recruiting background. I was a recruiter at a staffing agency. And then I moved into basically kind of the AI training bootcamp space, right? And like I learned largely recruiting first, and then because you are working as a staffing agency, as a recruiter, you develop, I guess unknowingly you develop a really decent sales background. At least people tell me that. But then I had to learn how to do marketing to go out there and get the leads to come in. I'm not a technical person at all. I've been around product managers and engineers pretty much my entire career since I graduated from school, largely because we employ them here internally in the team. We have learning platform that we built out internally. We have engineers that we deploy for our own website and all that. But the reality is, this is very, very, very intimidating. Okay, the first thing we need to go ahead and do to eliminate the intimidation factor is most people, whether they are admitting it or not, and I will go ahead and tell you this was a mistake that I made, was I went straight to just taking the curriculum. You should be looking at the exam first. Why? Because this is how your exam is going to come out. You're preparing for this very specific competition. Inside the exam, what I do to immediately get some degree of leverage is what I did coming from a very strong liberal arts background. As you can see here, I graduated with a degree in history. Is what we do here is we break up everything into different pages and into different sections. And you will notice that we have a few major sections like target candidate description. I'm going to go back over to my Notion page here. You're going to see target candidate description. As you can see here, the exam content and response types and exam results and content outline and exam scenarios. You are going to go ahead and see all of the same things, exam scenarios, exam domains. You're going to see all of that. This little step right here is when your brain is undergoing a new endeavor, you want to go ahead and get some degree of momentum over the situation, because if you start analyzing, I'll tell you exactly what a lot of people do that keeps them stuck and it keeps them in a position where they're not making as much money as they deserve to be making, is they'll take a look at, oh, this is the exam content. All right, it's a multiple choice exam. All right, it is exam results. Okay, this is the content. And then they'll start taking a look at this like scenario one. And they'll just take a look at this and they'll stare at it all day and they'll be thinking to themselves, oh man, this is not going to happen. Okay, break it all apart first into chunks and tell yourself, if 6 scenarios is stopping you from getting that next $40,000, $50,000 extra a year, let's start tackling each scenario at a time. So what I did here was I organized it by different exam scenarios, different exam domains. I'm going to explain to you guys in the upcoming video what the difference between an exam scenario is and what an exam domain is, and the exam appendix and the vocabulary. As I mentioned before, resources, either hit me up on LinkedIn. So this is the description when you're at the YouTube channel. Hit me up at the LinkedIn, or go ahead and in our online WAP community, you'll be finding our resources. With that said, I decided to break everything up apart. Break it apart, break it apart, break it apart. Because now it doesn't seem, okay, I only have 3 questions. This does not seem as intimidating as like this whole blotch. Even for the practice exams, they're giving it to you like, is it A, is it B, is it C, is it D? I felt better just adding a different line. Okay, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D, this is the correct answer, why B? All of this is directly from the exam. Just organizing the information just a little bit more, like better, gives you a degree of hope, because as you're doing this, your brain is absorbing all of this material for those of us who are non-technical. For the technical rock stars, I mean, this isn't really exactly for you. You want to go, like, you guys can do it, right? This is for the regular people like myself. So organize it onto a Notion or Google Doc. I prefer Notion. You can do whatever it is that you want with it. The next video that I have on the list here is, well, what does the study guide? Okay, what does the study guide actually mean? And what is it that the exam is actually testing for? Let's go ahead and get to that.